Welcome to the Land, your bet sports betting show. Very nice night here on Friday as I'm recording this, getting ahead of the Detroit and New York game. Going to be breaking that down for you in this one with matchups and insights that you need to place those bets on the Knicks and Pistons here. Like I said, 8 units made here on Friday night. So a very nice come up, a really nice way to end the play-in tournament, now up 6.2 units. Going to run quickly through all the bets that we had in the play-in tournament and then get right into everything we've got for Pistons and Knicks. Definitely make sure to subscribe to that channel as well so you don't miss the episodes that I have for the other games there on Saturday. If that all sounds good, give the video a like. Let's get right into it. Finally getting a recording in after a slate is completely finished. So showing you how we've done here just in the play-in tournament, last 3 episodes that we had out for you guys, looking at 13 and 7 plus 6.2 units. That's what we've been doing in the VIP. For those of you guys interested in jumping in, we do have a code going on as well. I'll let you know. YOFS25 gets you 50% off your first 3 months so that you don't miss any of the bets that I'm making here in the NBA playoffs. And then you can also run into the W as well if you're interested. But quick look through here on how we did. Like I said, 13 and 7 overall. On this night right here, 9 and 1 tonight on Friday, and that got us to the 6.2 units, which did help us climb back over 40 on the season as a whole, including the regular season. Dallas was the only thing we lost. They did not come close to covering in that game. At one point, they were down 8 in the third quarter. Then they were very quickly not down 8 anymore. So we actually ended up backdoor covering the total there over 221.5. We'll take it. It was on pace for that, and then it just kind of died down when this thing was a complete blowout in the beginning of the fourth quarter. But we did hit that. So happy to take that the W there, I should say. Miami did win that game. We got them minus 108. It was actually Miami minus 1 was the bet. I miswrote it there, but minus 108 for the minus 1. And then Davion Mitchell on the threes, Davion Mitchell on the points, Wiggins on the points, and Hero on the points. All 4 of those bets we won in overtime. So look, I'm going to take the luck. I'd rather be lucky than good because I'd rather just win than anything else. But understand that we did get a little bit lucky. We were about to get hooked on most of those bets there, and then they ended up coming through. Somehow, Bam went into overtime with 33 PRA and left with 33 PRA. So we got the under with the Miami money line. That was a nice 3-1 hit, a nice even money hit there on Desmond Bane, over 33.5 PRA. And then Brandon Williams had a nice game as well for the Mavs. Really excited to see if he gets some time next year as sort of Kyrie's backup. Maybe he gets some time out there as well as a shooting guard alongside Kyrie. But Brandon Williams is a very, very nice player there, point guard for the Mavs. So would love to keep betting on him, but the Mavs are out, unfortunately. Should also show you we had a couple other bets, like I said, a couple other days worth of betting there. Tuesday and Wednesday. Tuesday, much better. We made 1.2 units. Wednesday, we did not. We lost 3 units. So that's how we end up where we are, up about, like I said, 6.2 here on the young play-in tournament there. So feeling really good about what we've got here for Detroit and New York. Let's jump into all the insights and bets that I've got for that one. As we jump into the series notes here to kick things off, definitely make sure to give the video a like. It goes a super long way to support the channel. If these insights are helping you guys out with any of the bets that you're making, very much appreciated there. But looking at what we should be expecting here in this series, I will say Detroit won the season series 3-1. They looked really good in all the last 3 games. They actually lost the first one by 30 to the Knicks and then won the next 3 games there. The key here, though, is going to be how healthy is Brunson. He certainly was not healthy. It didn't look it in the last game that they played there at the end of April, or just about a week ago or so. In the last 4 games of the season, he was coming back from about a month-long injury where he missed. And in those last 4, 34 minutes per game, 21 points per game, 5.8 assists, 1.8 rebounds. Not the same Brunson that he was before he left. Obviously, the minutes alone are down for him in these last 4 games. The next key thing here is going to be Duren and Cat. Are those guys going to keep fouling each other, or are they going to just keep their hands to themselves for a little bit so they can stay on the floor? Duren, somebody that we're going to look at real quick, I don't know how you can really place an over on him comfortably when you don't know if he's going to get more than 20 minutes because he's got 3 fouls in the second quarter. And that's going to be a problem against Cat. Guys like Mitchell Robinson, when they come in, they draw fouls for sure. And that is going to be a huge issue for Duren if he has to guard Cat and then eventually has to try to box out Mitchell Robinson. And then the last thing here is that both teams are struggling on defense a ton. So want to keep in mind that points might be a little bit easier to come by in this game for the Stars anyway. I do think we're going to see huge minutes for the Knicks starters. We're not going to see much backup time there for anybody coming off the bench. And then for the Pistons, they can have the luxury of going with the hot hand if they can kind of keep the pace fast, and if they can actually keep this Knicks team tired and their legs tired, they're going to have an advantage because they're going to play more guys than the Knicks, and that's going to be something to keep an eye on as well as the bench play. As always, going to be using Props Madness here on the show to help us find these player props in the NBA. If you do want to jump in, this is the #1 sports betting research tool for all things hoops and props. Can't really compare it to anything else. Use code LYB. This will get you 25% off your first month. Also gets you 7 free days on a nice trial there if you're interested in using this. Save yourself some time. Make it more efficient. This is a really nice one-stop shop place to get all of the info that you need. I'm going to kick it off with Jalen Brunson. This series, to me, this game at the very least, is pretty chalky. I've got some pretty chalky thoughts about it, and I'm not too worried about it because the chalkiness is based on, I should say, the fact that these guys are going to get a ton of minutes. The starters for the Knicks already playing like 35, 36 minutes a game. Well, now we're in the playoffs, so they're going to touch 40. Josh Hart's going to touch 40. Jalen Brunson, if he's actually healthy, he'll touch 40. If Cat can keep his hands off of other guys on the other team, then that will help him get to above 35, right? But most importantly, like for JB, this is a really good matchup for him to score. That's what I like as much as anything. The head-to-head stuff here between these teams is pretty helpful, I believe. Like the 30 a game for JB, shouldn't be expecting him to not be taking that many shots again, right? If you look at the attempts, 22, 21, 24. That's because the way that this defense plays for Detroit, they don't double. So they give up the 3rd most points to the pick and roll ball handler. They give up the 3rd most free throws per game as well. They're bottom 12 or so in limiting isolation points. What they do well is they don't let you get transition points and they don't let you get spot up. But that's not really what we rely upon for a guy like JB. So rather than just focus on the points, I actually like the threes for this guy. And this is a bet that we took for him at the end of the season in their last game, where he went 3 for 9 in that game. The one under that he went 1 for 7. Give him a little bit of a break there. The other games, 3 for 7 and 6 for 8. The key here is the attempts for Brunson. That's what I'm showing you here, is that if you look at this, pull the advanced filters up, pull up the 3-point attempts, you can see that he's averaging 7.8 per game when he plays against this team versus 6 per game when he against pretty much everybody else on the season, probably closer to about 5.8 per game when he's playing against not the Pistons, not the Celtics. These defenses that play very similarly to each other, where they don't double team, right? We keep talking about that. They allow guys to go one-on-one, and they foul a lot. That's the key here for both the Pistons and when he plays like the Rockets. It's the exact same thing. It dates back to last season. Last season, 7 for 12, 3 for 11, and 3 for 7 from 3. All way higher. So he actually took 10 threes per game against this team last year, which was almost which was more than 3 more that he took per game against everybody else. 6.8 attempts on the season last year. So this uptick for JB is something that we really look forward to when we can bet on the threes. And the last couple things I'll tell you, big reason for this, Detroit allows the most pull-up threes in the league, the 5th highest frequency of them in general, and they play drop defense, which is why they also give up the 4th highest percentage of threes made, 4th highest 3-point percentage to their opponent above the break, is what I'm trying to say here. So for JB, a guy who shoots above the break threes, off of the pull-up, and has continued to take a ton against this team, really like him to make 3 in this game here for near even money. I've also got an under here for a Knicks player, and it's going to be Josh Hart on the dimes, right? This Detroit defense is very, very good at limiting assists in general, and so we can actually get under 6.5 assists for Josh Hart, and I'm fine drinking all the juice on this one. I don't think he's good for 7 in this game. If you look at him on the season, big downturn in assists from last year. He's at 5.9 this season. We saw at the end of last year in the playoffs, I can just pull it up for you real quick, he was diming up a lot when he was without Jalen Brunson, I should say. So even here we see like 6.5 is still pretty high for him. In last year's playoffs, he was still at 4.5. That's about what we should expect from him, is about 4.5, 5 assists per game for Josh Hart. Not 6, and certainly not 7. Now, he was at 5.9 on the season as a whole, but now that we've got like more guys available, right, we're not going to be seeing Mikal Bridges, or not Mikal, but OG Anunoby miss any games. Cat and JB are fully back. And if you look at him when he plays with everybody, especially all the starters on the season, right, 5.9 assists, let's give him a few more games. Actually goes down just a little bit, right? Like a slightly fewer than 5.9, gets down to 5.7. That's how we get there. The potential assist for him at about 9.7. And the last thing I want to show you for him and why I love the under, it's really the matchup, right? It's mostly, it doesn't even matter who's playing. It's mostly about the fact that in the 3 games that he's played with them against them this season, he's averaging 4 a game. His potential assists versus them are at 10, which is just not enough to expect him to get 7, right? That's too high of a percentage of his potential assists turning into regular assists. So I really like an under for him on the dimes in this game. Turning to some of the Pistons players, I'm just going to, like I said, keep it chalky, right? Why would I try to overthink this? Cade Cunningham has destroyed this team this season in all 3 games that they actually played closely, other than the first one, where they lost by 30. He only saw 32 minutes, and as a result, he had 22 points, which is still really close to what he needs in this game. So I'm fine with the points if you want them, but I love the threes, even for the minus money, right? Like minus 140 on Bet365, minus 145 on DraftKings. I'm going to drink the juice and take two threes for this dude. It's similar to JB, honestly. Like on the season, he's at 6. In this series, he's at 6.3, and he only took 4 in that first game because, once again, this thing was over by like the second quarter, right? It was a 30-point loss. Not much to do there. Next couple games, 8 attempts, 5 attempts. 5 attempts in the last one doesn't make you feel great about it, but 2 for 5, 2 for 6. These are the types of things that we expect for him against the Knicks defense that is bad, man. That's just not that good, right? They've been actually 16th in defensive rating for their last 10. They've been like 22nd in defensive rating in their last 5. I don't trust them at all. I don't trust them to stop the pick and roll ball handler like Cade Cunningham. I don't trust them to stop him from scoring 30 points in this game. So I think there's a worth it to take like 3+ threes for him at about plus 200, get some 2-1 on your money, but over 1.5, even at this terrible juice, it's just a really, really strong bet with a really nice edge to it for us. I also mentioned I was at least going to touch on some Jalen Duren stuff, and I would love to be able to take Jalen Duren. 11.5 points doesn't scare me because this defense isn't great with Cat out there for most of the game. Even 10.5 boards doesn't scare me, despite the fact that the Knicks have been so good limiting stuff. What scares me is fouls, right? If you look at the way that he's played against this team this season, there's clear correlation between success and fouls. First game, 18 minutes. We'll chalk that one up mostly due to the fact that there was a 30-point loss, so he wasn't really needed in that game. In the first game, only 2 personal fouls. Again, because he played 18 minutes in a blowout. Next game, we're talking about this one right here where he had 25 minutes. He fouled out in this one. Ended with 6 personals. Couldn't even get close, right? Even though he had 25 minutes. Was always in foul trouble, so hard to be aggressive. Next game, 4 fouls. This game had 4 fouls. This game had 6 fouls. You get my point. All 3 of these, anywhere from 4 to 6 fouls, or they lost by 30. Last game, only gets 2 personal fouls, plays 26 minutes, ends up with 13 boards. Also, if you look at the points, ends with 18 points. That's where I'd be going for this one. I'd be going for the points if I could, but I don't know that I can trust him to stay out of foul trouble. So I think we really just have to make a decision on Jalen Duren this series. Are we going over every game on something like 11 points in a situation that's actually pretty good because the Knicks defense down low sucks because they have Cat out there the whole time, right? Well, do we want to just blindly go over the whole time on like 11.5, 10.5 points, or do we just want to stay away the whole time because we don't trust him to get the fouls? Whatever you do, just do it consistently. Because if you waffle back and forth on Jalen Duren and don't just stick to the same bet for him for the whole series, you're going to get really frustrated when he does or doesn't foul. That's my best advice for Jalen Duren is bet over every time or bet under every time or stay the hell away. But consistency is going to be key in betting Jalen Duren. One more reminder, if you do want to jump in on the playoff action as we get sizzling hot moving into the postseason here on Saturday, use code YOFS25. That'll get you 50% off, your first 3 months in the VIP so you don't miss out on any of the bets that I'm putting down. Plus, got to shout out my guys in the VIP cappers as well who have been dominating some MLB so far, Hana, not Hannah. And we've also got Buddy Irons in there as well. So hope to see you guys in the VIP. And until we see you next, happy betting.